Hi, it's Kevin Wright here. Time for another property finance tip. So what are we going to be talking about today? The setup costs of bridging finance. So if you're looking to do bridging finance, what setup costs should you expect to pay? And just as importantly, what things should you look to avoid? Okay, so you're thinking about applying for a bridging finance loan, but what costs are you likely to incur in the process of setting it up? Let's drill down on that. You're going to have a valuation fee, you're going to have legal fees, you could have a broker fee, there could be some other little costs stuck in there as well. We're going to look at those in detail one by one. Let's start off with a valuation fee. Yes, you're going to have to pay a valuation fee. Almost every bridger insists on an actual valuer going and look at the property. Don't tend to do desktop valuations or anything of that nature. They want to see a real man or woman to go round and look at your property. So it'll be an actual survey valuation, the same thing really, that you're paying for. Like most things here, they're tiered. So you're going to pay a different fee if you've got a 500,000 house to if you've got a 50,000 house. Prices start from about probably 200, 250, something like that for a resi valuation. If you're looking at anything with commercial, that's substantially more money because it's substantially bigger report. Typical residential valuation report, 3, maybe 4 pages, no more than that. The commercial valuation is going to be probably 10 times that size. So, 30, 40 pages. So clearly there's an additional cost involved. It's a much more detailed survey. The other thing is, again, with most bridgers, and again, different to mortgage lenders, as bridging often is different to mortgage lenders, you will not usually pay the bridger directly, but the bridger will instruct the valuer and the valuer will call you so that you can pay them over the phone. So it's a slightly different way of working. Legal fees. Here's where bridging again tends to differ from mortgages, in that with most mortgage lenders you have a solicitor acting for both sides. So they'll act for you as the borrower and they'll act also for the mortgage lender as well. This rarely happens in bridging. What you happen in bridging is that each side has their own solicitor. You have your solicitor, the bridger has their solicitor, and you pay for both. The other thing to notice about the legal fees is that there's for a solicitor, hell of a lot more work involved in the conveyancing. Roughly 3 times as much work compared to the conveyancing of a mortgage. So expect your legal fees to be higher with bridging than they would be for a mortgage. And also remember that you've not only got to pay solicitor that's acting for you, you've also got to pay for the bridger's solicitor as well. So those are legal fees. Now, you could be having to pay a broker fee. The broker could be charging a fee in addition to that. And of course, that's going to vary broker to broker. That's another potential cost that you want to find out. Here's where it gets a bit more complex. Every bridger would charge you a arrangement fee. Typically, it's 2%. So that's pretty standard across the board. What isn't standard, and where it does get more complex, is what additional fees are added on. Could be with, let's say, the better bridgers, there are no extra fees. But some bridgers find this is a good way to actually put in a few extra charges here. So you see things like administration fee, asset manager's fee, 2, 3, 4, potentially other fees as well. So lots of little fees, or more than one little fee, certainly, that is going to boost up the cost. There's no reason why any of this should be a surprise to you. Everything should be detailed on the bridger's offer, even on their indicative terms, which precedes the offer. Every cost that's incurred should be there before you make the decision to proceed with the loan. So nothing should be hidden. You do have to read the documents carefully and make sure that you're aware of all the costs. Now, the danger here is that you get sucked into looking and searching for the cheapest interest rate and you miss or don't pay enough attention to some of the costs. It's about the overall cost of the deal. So the one with the lowest rate may not actually be the best deal for you, because if they're adding on extra charges, it's going to increase the overall cost of the loan. Never look at a oversimplistic who's got the lowest rate. Rate, obviously, you bear in mind, but you also look at all the costs involved as well. Hopefully that's given you some guidance on how bridging costs are set up. And if you enjoyed this one, keep tuned. I'll be bringing out another property finance tip really soon.